The Middle East is like a bomb waiting to explode. Everyone is nervous. The US, Israel, and Iran are in a dangerous standoff. They are still talking, but things feel ominous. Military preparations are making people worry. The US is sending lots of military equipment to Israel, including powerful new weapons. The whole world is watching closely. Is a big war about to start? It's a complicated situation with no easy solutions. The risks are huge. Peace is very fragile. A wrong move could have terrible results. The world is holding its breath. The US and Israel have the same goal. They want to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. They think a nuclear Iran would be dangerous for the whole area and even the world. Iran says its nuclear program is for peaceful reasons. Many countries don't believe them. Using threats to get what you want is a dangerous game. It's called coercive diplomacy. The US is using this tactic with Iran. The threat is simple: stop trying to build nuclear weapons or face military action, but this is risky. It can make things worse and even start a war. For this to work, the threats have to be believable. If the other side thinks you won't actually do anything, they won't listen. The US has a strong military and has used it before. This makes their threats serious, but Iran is also strong and ready to fight back. The US says coercive diplomacy is needed. They say it's the only way to stop Iran from getting nukes. They say it worked before, like with Libya in 2003. Libya gave up its nuclear program because of US pressure. In international relations, looking strong is important. If you seem powerful, other countries are less likely to attack. If you seem weak, they might attack. The US knows this. They're trying to look powerful. They want Iran to believe they're willing to use force. But is it true? The US has been fighting long wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. These wars have used up resources and hurt America's reputation. Some experts wonder if the US is ready for another war in the Middle East. Iran might be thinking the US won't actually attack. The US is trying to look even stronger. They are sending more troops to the Middle East. They are practicing military drills with Israel. They are sending a message to Iran: we mean business. But is it enough? We'll have to wait and see. The US is sending billions of dollars in military aid to Israel. This includes advanced weapons like fighter jets and missiles. The US says this aid is to help Israel protect itself. Others say it's making things worse in the Middle East, like adding fuel to a fire. Israel is a close friend of the US. It's the only democracy in the Middle East and faces serious threats. The US feels it has a duty to help Israel. This aid shows that support. This aid is a hot topic. Some say it gives Israel permission to attack Iran. They say it makes Israel bolder and makes peace less likely. Others say this aid is essential for Israel's safety. They say it keeps Iran from attacking. This debate will probably continue. Israel has a strong military and a history of using it. But Israel has a problem. It can't destroy Iran's nuclear program by itself. Attacking Iran's nuclear sites would be very complicated. It would need special weapons and information that Israel doesn't have. Israel could attack, but it would probably only slow Iran down and not stop them completely. It could also start a bigger war, a risk Israel might not want to take. Israel relies on the US for military help. The US could destroy Iran's nuclear program, but it's not clear if they want to. The US doesn't want another war in the Middle East. Israel might have to act alone. The US and Israel are trying to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. They are using diplomacy and military threats, but their strategy is based on a risky idea. They think Iran believes getting nukes is more trouble than it's worth. But what if they're wrong? Iran might think not having nukes is more dangerous. They might think nukes are the only way to stay safe. They might think the US and Israel are bluffing. They might be willing to test that bluff. Iran saw what happened to Iraq and Libya. Those countries gave up their nuclear programs and were later invaded by the US. Iran might think the only way to avoid that is to get nuclear weapons. Iran is a complicated country with a complicated government. There are those who want a strong military and those who want peace. There are those who want to fight the West and those who want to talk. There's no single opinion on what to do about the current crisis. The hardliners in Iran might want to attack first. They might think the US and Israel are weak. They might think attacking first would give Iran an advantage. Those who want peace might want to avoid war. They might think talking is the only solution. The Iranian government is under pressure from its people. US sanctions are hurting Iran's economy. Iranians are frustrated. They want their government to stand up to the West, but they also want peace. The US and Israel are trying to scare Iran away from developing nuclear weapons by threatening military action. This is called military deterrence. But this can backfire. It could cause the very attack they're trying to prevent. Being vague on purpose is called strategic ambiguity. It's used when being clear is dangerous. In this situation, it means the US and Israel wouldn't say exactly what they would do if Iran crossed certain lines. This keeps Iran guessing. Being vague can work. If Iran doesn't know how the US and Israel will react, they might not do anything risky. It also gives diplomats more time to find a peaceful solution. It can help avoid a mistake that could lead to war. The situation in the Middle East is dangerous. War is a real possibility, but there is still hope. Talking is the only way to avoid disaster. The US and Iran need to start talking again. They need to find a way to bring back the nuclear deal. The world is watching and hoping for peace. The other option is too terrible to think about. A war between the US, Israel and Iran would be a catastrophe. Many people would die. The entire region would become unstable. It would affect the whole world. The world needs to do everything it can to prevent war. The UN Security Council needs to calm things down. World leaders need to encourage everyone to stay calm. People all over the world need to speak up for peace. The time to act is now.